Alright, let's get something straight, right now. Everybody is calling Alicent Hightower a monster, a traitor, the worst mother in Westeros, a woman who looked her own son in the eyes, smiled, and poured poison down his throat. And you know what? They're all missing the point. Alicent didn't kill her son. She executed a threat that had already stopped being her son. This isn't about feelings. This is about survival. And if you actually watched what happened in Harrenhal with your brain switched on instead of your emotions, you'd see it too. Let's break this shit down. First, understand the state Aemond was in when Alicent walked into that castle. This wasn't the cold, calculating one-eyed prince who took Vhagar and burned half the realm. This was a man already halfway gone. He was training in the yard when the hallucinations hit. He saw his mother, soft, warm, calling him her best and truest son, telling him King's Landing had fallen, that Aegon was dead, that Helena was a prisoner. He believed it. He went to bed with that vision, and when the illusion broke, he was fucking Alys Rivers. That's not stress. That's magical corrosion. Alys has been inside his head for weeks, feeding him visions, twisting his reality, turning the most dangerous man in Westeros into a paranoid, sexually confused, half-mad weapon. And then the real Alicent shows up, with one guard, Sir Adrian, the man who risked everything to get her there alive. Aemond doesn't even hesitate. He draws his dagger and cuts the man's throat open right in front of his mother. No trial, no questions. Just pure, impulsive slaughter because this castle has secrets. That single moment should have been enough. A commander who murders the only person who protected his mother the second he sees him is not a leader. He's a liability with a dragon the size of a mountain. But it gets worse. During dinner, Aemond starts talking about his real plan. He's not fighting for the green cause anymore. He's not fighting for Aegon. He's building something new. A seat of power at Harrenhal, a dynasty of unclean kings, his own bloodline, his own rules. And then while he's swinging that sword in the yard, half drunk on whatever Alys has been feeding him, he looks at his mother and admits it out loud. He tried to kill Aegon at Rook's Rest. Not, the battle was chaos. Not, I didn't mean to. He owned it. He tried to murder his own brother, the rightful king, so he could take the throne himself. At that point, Alicent wasn't looking at her child. She was looking at a man who had already committed treason, was actively losing his mind to a witch, and controlled the single most destructive force in the known world. Vhagar doesn't care about your feelings. Vhagar answers to whoever sits on her back. And the man on her back was becoming a walking apocalypse. So what were Alicent's options, exactly? Talk him down? The same man who just murdered her escort in front of her and confessed to trying to kill his brother? Arrest him? With what army? She arrived with one dead guard. Warn the Greens? They were already fractured. Ormond was making deals with Ulf. Aegon was half dead and on the run. The whole side was eating itself. Leave him there and hope Alys didn't finish turning him into something worse? That wasn't an option either. Aemond with Vhagar, fully unhinged, deciding the realm needed a new bloodline of kings. That ends with fire from Old Town to the Wall. Alicent did the only thing left that still had a chance of limiting the damage. She went into the Godswood. She gathered what she needed. She put it in the wine, and she watched her son drink it. When he started stumbling and calling for Alys, Alys just looked at him and said, "Fool." Then Alicent walked out into the night. No victory speech. No monologue. Just a woman who understood that some children become too dangerous to leave alive, even if the blood in their veins is yours. People love to scream about a mother's love. They act like love means endless protection, no matter what the child becomes. That's cute. It's also how entire bloodlines get wiped out. Real maternal instinct in a world like this isn't soft. It's ruthless when it has to be. Alicent looked at the future, a future where Aemond, broken and ambitious and sitting on the largest dragon alive, decided the realm belonged to him, and she chose the version where fewer people burned. She didn't do it for power. She didn't do it to switch sides. She did it because she finally accepted the truth everyone else was too emotional to say out loud. Aemond Targaryen had already become the greater evil. Poisoning him wasn't betrayal. It was containment. And the fact that it destroys her reputation forever, that's the price. She paid it in full. So next time someone calls Alicent a monster for what she did in Harrenhal, ask them one question. If your child controlled a weapon that could erase cities, and you watched them lose their mind, murder allies, confess to trying to kill their own brother, and start talking about building a new dynasty on the bones of the old one, would you still call it love to let them keep the weapon? Or would you do the one thing that actually protected the rest of the world? Alicent already answered that question. She just didn't expect any of you to have the stomach to understand it. Drop your take in the comments. I want to see how many of you are still pretending this was simple. I'll see you in the next one.